the legendary Woodstock. I mean, I know it was slight issues. You didn't get on till after midnight and things like that. But what were your memories of that incredible event?
Well, it was crazy because first and foremost, the logistics were completely blown out of the we're flying in, and we flew an all-night flight because we were doing a television show. And they had two different unions, and they hated each other, and they had breaks and dinners and lunches at different times. So when one stopped, the other one had to stop, whatever it was that they did. And it was maddening. And they had a lot of technical problems. And so it got down to the last take. We said, we got a gig we have to go to. And this is the last flight. We're going to fly all night, which we're not thrilled about. But if you don't get it this time, you don't get it. And also on that, it was Andy Williams. Also on that show was Ray Charles. And to add a little frosting on the cake, it was a reunion of Ray Charles and the Raylettes, and they hadn't seen each other or worked together in years. And it was really, they were crying and hugging each other, and to see one of your idols there and be able to listen to him rehearse. I mean, I thought I had a cold by the time that was over, because I had had so many chills just listening to Ray and seeing the wonderful reunion of a group. And it was really cool. But anyway, we got the take, but right in the middle of it, there was a big feedback, and it wasn't us. It came from one of the unions. But if you ever see the reruns of the Andy Williams show, you'll hear it or see it. John rolled his eyes. And then we ran down and got in the limo and went to the airport, and then flew all night. So when we get to where we're going, we were supposed to go a certain way, and they said, well, that's all different now. We're going to have to get you fly into a smaller airport that's closer because we can't use the roads. Yeah. What do you mean? It's not raining or anything. They said, no, but there are hundreds of thousands of people that have come to this thing, and there was a traffic jam, so they just left their cars in the street where they were, and they walked in. And I said, you can't be serious. Said, oh yeah, there's 500,000 people here, and now we're going, oh, okay, there is no way there's going to be 500,000 people. Make a long story short, they flew us in. A 2-man helicopter turned into a 3-man helicopter. And John was sitting in the middle. The pilot was in the pilot seat, of course. And I'm sitting on I've got my leg out the door, and it's one of those bubble tops that looks like a dragonfly. And I'm holding the door because otherwise it'll be flapping in the wind and beating my leg. And so my right leg was out of the helicopter on the skid. It didn't have wheels, so it's on the skid. I'm with my right leg. I'm holding the door semi-shut. My leg's in there, and then I'm holding on to John's safety belt, and my left cheek is on his seat. We're showing the seat, so we're flying in, and it was a perfect time to come in and see this wonderful, magnificent sight, because the sun was going down. And, when the sun goes down, the sun rays get more direct and things seem brighter and more colorful. And as we came up over this little rise, and there they were. And I said, it's a patchwork quilt of humanity. I remember saying that. I said, I'll remember that for the rest of my life. And I said, at least 450,000 people here. It's unbelievable. And so the helicopter was landing next to a 3-story building, and there was a window open on the top floor, and 2 beautiful ladies were looking out, waving at each helicopter that came in. And it was Joan Baez and Judy Collins. I said, I think this is going to be a good one. Then it became kind of a nightmare because we were supposed to headline. I don't know how our equipment got in to this day. I don't know how it happened, how they even were able to hook up with us. We had a show to do, and that was, the focus. We weren't going to go running out and take drugs and shuck our responsibilities just because other guys were doing it. We were there to play a show, and there were a lot of problems about that. Rain, electronics, people not going on because of the rain. Problems with going over their time, a lot of time limit.
Yeah.
So we didn't. The headliner got on stage Sunday morning at about 1 or 2 in the morning, and we played. I thought we played all right considering the situation. And John said we didn't play well, and wouldn't allow us to be in the movie or on the record, and so nobody knew that we were there. And quite honestly, I think if we weren't there, there wouldn't have been, it wouldn't have happened. And I'll explain that. All the big bands who had real managers were sitting on the sidelines waiting for somebody credible. And at that time, we were number one. We were number one in the world in record sales, and we were number one concert draw in '69 and '70. So we're number one in the world, and so they're waiting for somebody to go in. All the big guys, the Who and this and that, Jimi Hendrix and all of them. So when we said, okay, we'll do it, they all jumped in. Now, what happens if we say, nah, you guys don't have enough experience, we're gonna pass? I don't think it would have happened.
Wow.
I honestly don't. So there's something to throw in there, a little historical theory, if you will. And but now, John's embraced the whole thing. He even has a Volkswagen bus it's too neat a paint job. It doesn't look like the real thing. But anyway, he's embraced it, and which is good. But we'll never be in the movie, and most people will never know that we were there. But historically, that's the big one, and there'll never be another one because of. And then I'll tell you what: if there would have been beer there instead of weed, I think there would have been a lot more violence. There would have been violence. There was none. But people just got stoned and said the hell with the rain and played in the mud like kids and shared whatever they had, because there was certainly not enough food or drink or toilets for that many people. I mean, they were hoping to have 50,000 people there. And so they had 10% of what they needed in terms of
facilities and things,
basic necessities for the public at large. A lot of people peed on trees, I can tell you that.
Absolutely. That's incredible stories. I mean, if you'd have said no, then the biggest concert in history might not have happened. That's fascinating stuff.
Yeah.